Hello, this is Radio FM 88.com.au. I'm Carol Hartley-Poole, and in the studio today we have Yulia of yuliascornucopia.com.au. Now, Yulia is a natural, intuitive light worker and healer with an amazing ability to tune in and get right to the core of an issue. She has so many gifts and abilities, it's hard to know where to begin. So I'm just going to start by saying, Yulia, welcome to the studio.
Hello, and thank you for inviting me to your radio station.
Well, I've been so looking forward to this. I read your website and I got really excited about you coming in today to talk about what you do. It's just amazing. You've got such a lovely accent. Now, this is clearly not an Australian accent. So tell me, where are you from?
Yes, it's definitely not Australian accent. I think it's very easy to catch. Yeah, actually, I'm from Ukraine. And I was born in Ukraine, and I moved to Australia 11 years ago before. But my roots actually take beginning from the Altai. Altai is a very sacred place. My mom was born there, and it's very shamanic actually place. And what's the interesting fact I had in my life, it's maybe happened a couple of years ago when once I felt inside myself like something shamanic woman that talks to me, and I start sounded absolutely aboriginal voice, and I was a little scared. Who's that inside me? And later, actually, when I asked it, she said, I am the spirit of Altai. And now I can use this my experience when I work with people. Sometimes she come through my channeling when I have the sessions with people, and make the healing sessions with people.
So the spirit of Altai, that's the site that you were born? Or your mother was born?
No, my mother was born.
Your mother was born.
Yeah, but this spirit, when it's through the channel come to me, she even talk with my mom through me, and ask my mom pass for me this energetical experience, because in my genes I have some
You've inherited the
information.
ability.
Yeah.
It sounds very much like the ancestral wisdom, almost of the land, that is speaking to you as well. Would you describe it that way? Ancestral wisdom of the ancestors.
Yes, absolutely. And when I work with people, I begin talk, like sounds the Aboriginal people. And this moment, I know absolutely I connect with roots of earth. So, and I'm very happy with, because this experience I can pass not only for my people, but I'm also grown and more understand, how all this work on our planet with our earth.
Oh, that sounds extraordinary, because I've been reading the Anastasia books recently as well, and there are so many parallels with the old wisdom that we've lost through centuries of suppression and so on. And it seems that the old wisdom now is coming back to our planet
Absolutely.
To enlighten people.
Yeah, and when I channeling and in the trance, I can very clear to feel what's going on. I take the frequency, all this informations, and I activate it inside the people.
Well, that sounds extraordinary. I'd like to hear more about that in a minute. But why did you choose Australia?
I think I'm leading in my life, by my spirit. I don't ask a lot of questions. I just use impulse, and I follow my impulse. And one moment I know I have to move, and actually one reason also have been I wanted to give the good education for my daughter. I have very special daughter. And my experience in my spiritual life and my self-realizations, I think it was the best way to do it here in Australia, because I travel a lot in my life. Actually, I go through around the planet 3 times. I have been in more as 54 countries. And when I travel around the world, I found that Australia and New Zealand, it's the more suitable for myself, for my spirit. Here I can more express myself, and I'm just happy here. So I thought it was right decision to migrate to Australia.
So what part of Australia are you currently living in?
I live in the Gold Coast, but I start from Brisbane.
Oh, it's certainly a beautiful place.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're obviously a deeply spiritual, intuitive person. Were you always that way when you were a child? Did you have psychic or spiritual gifts that showed themselves when you were small?
I think I do. I just never pay attention for this stage. For example, in 5 years, my favorite games have been just play with energetic balls, and later I forgot and remember when I again start renew my knowledge in my 31 years old. Yeah, but my dad, I think, also very spiritual, psychic person. He could play with snakes. He can stop all wild dogs, for example. They can keep silent in front of him. So I think it's have from my dad also some part. Yeah.
Well, that's amazing, because again, in the Anastasia books, she talks about sort of taming wild animals and they would come to her. So there's obviously something in the area that you were born that just helps this kind of awareness and this inner spirituality.
Yeah, I think so. I have actually many unusual stories with birds and animals, what's happened with me even here. For example, once I was walking and a bird was flying, and suddenly it stopped just in front of me. Was it flying like a rocket?
Yeah.
And I said, hey, what's going on? This bird was landing and just start walking to me.
Oh.
Yeah, and stop and watching. And I have many like these stories. I just don't remember all of them. It's just one, maybe most funny stories I had.
It gives you such a sense of pleasure, and doesn't it? You know, when an animal actually sort of stops and truly acknowledges you. You know, and you have that awareness that just encompasses all species.
Yeah, I think so.
So I've been reading on your website about some of the testimonials, and they're absolutely amazing. And you seem to have an ability to enable people to unlock their inner happiness.
You know, it's my main task. People come to me with different questions. Some successful business people in business come to my session. Sometimes people regarding relationships. And it doesn't matter from which side people put their question to me. My target just make people absolutely happy. And very often people begin crying, begin sessions, we have this and how so, but in the end, all of them absolutely happy. They shining and smile, and it's the main target, just make people happy. Because we deserve to be happy.
Oh, absolutely. And people seem to have so much these days, but they also seem to have so much stress. So what do you think is the reason why people aren't as happy as they could be?
I think it's just disconnected. And again, I try not only explain for people, I like take people and lead them to themselves and show their soul in front the mirror of the soul and say, look, it's you are. You're definitely absolutely awesome. Look at yourself. And this vibration of the soul, I show for people, and people can recognize themselves. And as soon people recognize them in front the mirror of their soul, they begin happy, and they never after can forget this experience.
That sounds extraordinary, because we are so conditioned to believe that we shouldn't blow our own trumpets, we shouldn't be pleased with ourselves, we should put everybody first and ourselves last, and we often don't acknowledge our gifts or what we're good at.
It's exactly what I try explain people, that first you have to love yourself, and please beg for yourself with love. In other stage, you never ever can demonstrate your love for other people. If you will have this experience, it's, for example, if you never ate the banana, you can't explain what's the taste. Same when people say a lot about the love for other people, but they don't love themselves, how they express this love for others? It's only like computer knowledge. It's not from the heart. But to have heart knowledge and this experience, first you have to learn how love yourself. And it's the main target when I work with people. Show for them how they love yourselves. Back you to yourself. In this stage only you can be happy.
That sounds like quite a big lesson for some people. Now, One of the things that I was reading on your website, amongst the testimonials, people speak of how you radiate. They say that, they can see love radiating from your eyes, and you just seem to have this glow about you. Now, having met you, I can see exactly what you mean, and you just seem to have this inner radiance that lights you up. Can anybody do that?
Absolutely, everybody. But I want to add for you, actually, it's a big job. I work in the stage more as 20 years, every day. Like, the doctors go to the work, teachers and many other professional people work full-time. I'm full-time light worker. My morning begin from the special, meditations, prayers, connection with Ascended Masters, and I do a lot every day, never ever stop it. 20 years.
Oh wow.
So that's why I tune in myself to this highest frequency every day a few hours, and now I even don't stop at all. I can switch off my mind for something, talk with somebody or do something, think still, but any free moment I am on the light.
So is one of the first keys actually giving yourself quiet time every year to meditate, and every morning and every year, every morning of every year, to actually meditate and get yourself in tune and connected?
Yeah, I think it's the best what we can do if we want to be stable and more happy in this life. First, when you open your eyes, just turn yourself to the light, to your angels or your spiritual guides or Ascended Masters. And after, just go to this world. I ask their support me every day in all my daily activities, and after I begin do what I have to do.
I've also heard you talk about light language. What does that mean?
When I start first it's happened because I have very solid habit to think and meditate, walking in the bushes, on the oceans. A few years ago I started to think of some very strange language. It's more look like Chinese language. And every time when I begin sing, it was the same song and same melody. And it looked like I said, all Chinese. And when I tried to find what's that, I found I connected with Kuan Yin, and Kuan Yin led me a few years and helped me to sort out many questions in my life. I just ask questions and have answer, and sometimes she sings through me. And I said I talk some languages, and when I done session with people, I found Kuan Yin that come to me through my sessions, and I could uplift frequency with people through Kuan Yin channel. But later I found, not me, my clients said, Yulia, you talk different language. It's more already like all Egyptian language. After somebody said, oh, it's like serious language. And we are counted already 4 or 5 languages what I talk. And how I understand when I in trance and channeling, and it's important with whom I talk, because every people different has a different experience, and it's more suitable for people, client with whom I work. It's turning the different language. So that's it's not one language. It's definitely depend what language will be most suitable for soul, that person with whom I am working.
So if somebody comes to you and says, Yulia, I've got a lot of good things in my life, but I still don't feel happy, do you have an ability to tune into them to see what it is that's in the way of them feeling happiness?
Absolutely. I found it's easy already. Before I was confused. I thought, oh my gosh, maybe I can do it for somebody, but not with everybody. But because I'm not tuning all time, so I found more and more easy to do it, definitely.
It sounds as if you've got X-ray vision.
I have an idea, but it's not hard at all.
Do you find yourself going around the shops or town and looking at people and thinking, you've got this issue or you've got that issue, or do you sort of see this with people?
No, I never ever do it. It's like when I have to see. I see. If I don't, I'm not curious at all, actually. So because I have very interest in my inner life, so I'm not interested in what's going on in other life. I only switch on my vision that I definitely can help people, and people ask my help.
Otherwise, I suppose it would be an intrusion of their privacy.
Yes, absolutely. And I have to ask questions. I have asked permission to people. It's very important.
I'm absolutely fascinated. I can't wait to have a session with you.
Oh, thank you.
I love what I've read on your website so far, and I know you're having a new one developed at the moment, but anybody who wants to look at your current website, which is juliascornucopia.com.au, will find a wealth of information, lots of lovely spiritual goodies and uplifting affirmations, music, musical instruments, and it really is a true cornucopia. I think they call it a horn of abundance.
Yes, absolutely. It was my idea, create this horn of abundance for people, inspire them with some good stuff. Now I'm more focused work with souls people and more activations, because in my life now they come amazing souls, amazing masters, and through the channel it's going some activation for them, take them for even higher level. So, and I'm very exciting in this stage. But like you said, this side, I definitely love this side, and I want to improve it a little later maybe. Yeah, but now I'm focused for my new site, which one will be just yulia.com.au, and where I want to represent me like a soul reader who activate people in their activities, or
so you can raise people from the current level that they're at to help them become more aware.
Yeah, more aware.
And more true to themselves.
Yes.
And perhaps more in line with their passion and their true purpose.
Yeah, thank you for helping me, because English is second language sometimes. You're
confused. Doing really, really well.
How to say. Yeah.
Well, that sounds so exciting. So your new site, which is going to be yulia.com.au. Well, I know we have to draw this interview to a close shortly, but what's the best piece of advice you think would benefit people out there? What's the best thing that you can say to them that would enhance their lives now?
I would just say people ask, believe, and receive.
Well, that just puts it in a nutshell. Yulia, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure talking with you.
Thank you for you very much.